Okay, guys, welcome back. We hope you found session one useful, that you were able to kind of think about how we're going to be more intentional about incorporating writing even in other subject areas other than English and social studies and so forth. Here's something that we want to preface this session with. Just like with the PLCs, our administration does not want to give us a checklist of things to do. We've all been in schools, or even in this school at times, where that's been the case, where we're given a task, we check a list just to justify somebody else's existence, send it back to them, but it doesn't really have any use in our classroom. That is not what this is intended to be. What we want you to do, just like with PLCs, is develop some norms for incorporating writing that is useful for your content. And that's what this session is about. So for this session, you need to get with your other department members, either use Microsoft Teams, experiment with that a little bit, or in person, and discuss some ways in which your guys are going to incorporate writing. It does not have to be papers. They're not saying that you have to write 3 essays a semester in math or anything like that. As Valerie said, quick writes or some other activity. So that's what we're going to be doing this session. This is a brief introductory video, and then you're going to have time to work on collaborating with your departments.
So at the end of this session, you're going to be sharing a form, and I wanted to introduce you to one aspect of that form. We're going to ask you to do a SWOT analysis. So as a department, you're going to be considering your experiences with writing in your classes. And if you are sort of the odd person out or the singleton class, you can still bounce ideas off of each other. So we're going to take a minute to look at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats about writing in your classes.
As well as the SWOT analysis, again, we need to be thinking about, okay, what types of writing benefit business students? What types of writing would benefit a math teacher, and so forth? So again, just reflect on the different types of writing as outlined in that text and think about which one of these might be useful specifically to our department and specifically for our goals for our students, our standards, but then more importantly, where they're going in life and how do we best equip them for the fields and the opportunities that they're going to have beyond Farragut High School.
As the final point on the form that you're going to fill out, there is some consideration about writing priorities. So not only the 4 modes of writing, but think about as you create these activities to write more in your class, think about the frequency, the types, and the purposes of writing as outlined in this pyramid. And remember, as it says at the top, start at the bottom and slowly build upward, slowly work upward, and think about incorporating these daily within a lesson, within a unit, or as a final culminating activity.
So briefly, guys, let us walk you through what you're tasked to do. So I think it'll be important for you to discuss what you guys have been doing in your department, how writing works for you guys, what it looks like for you guys. And so here is the sheet that you're going to complete. We only need 1 submitted per department, please. So just 1 math, 1 social studies, and so forth. But collaborate. So if you want to choose a little recorder who's going to submit things, please do so. So you're going to do the SWOT analysis, as Valerie stated, and then you have a couple of questions to reflect upon. The last one being the most important. So how could other departments support writing in your discipline, right? And that will be useful, and I think other departments will come and look at each other's forms and kind of see what people said. What is going to be helpful for me as an English teacher to support social studies in terms of writing? The last question is the one that the admin team needs to look at, which is, with your colleagues, develop 3 writing activities that can be utilized consistently by members of your department. Again, these don't have to be papers. They could be a quick write or an exit ticket or a discussion board or whatever is appropriate for your context. Dr. Bartlett would call these look-fors. So when the admin team or instructional coaches are coming around to different classrooms, this would be the type of thing they would be looking for to see writing happening in the classroom. It doesn't have to be daily. You know, there's not a mandate or a checklist for them, you know, to see. This is us as professionals coming up with the norms for our practice. So with your colleagues, develop your 3 activities that you guys think will be beneficial, and then you will submit your form to our shared Google Drive. And there is a session 2 folder right here. And so when you guys finish, drop it in here for us. And then also, again, if you have, for instance, a rubric that is very helpful for, say, evaluating a narrative of a math problem, we could use something like that. Please submit that here. Or if you have something about, a paragraph activity in science that would be beneficial to other teachers, please drop that in here and so forth. And we'll use this as a living Google Drive for all of us to keep working from. So session 2 is you guys working on that and then submitting your activity to that Google Drive. And then let's preview session 3 quickly. Session 3 will be a short session with Dr. Victoria Nuss. She did her dissertation for her doctorate on Canvas, and she is going to talk about transitioning this from the classroom to Canvas. And she's going to supply you with some resources there as well that are also in the Google Drive. And then for the rest of the time, you're going to have time to work on this. As Dr. Bartlett said, let's fill out these Canvas courses, but let's do so with a mind of incorporating writing to a more intentional degree. Thank you, guys, and I hope you are able to access these links. If you have any questions or concerns, you have our email addresses. Don't hesitate to reach out to us.